I decided it was time to invest a little bit more in the Switch. I found that sometimes my Joy-Cons would not have any juice, and that would be very frustrating, so I was hoping that if I got this guy, I could be sure that they were always charged. You can keep two on the Switch, obviously, but then there's the two that I keep separate. And in theory, I could switch them out, but if you have friends over and you want to do 4-player gaming, it's a disaster if you've neglected to charge your controllers. With this guy, you can charge up to 4 Joy-Cons at once, and that way you're guaranteed to always have Joy-Cons ready to go. In all honesty, I bought it because I like the way it looks. I've always been big on displaying a lot of my stuff, as you can see behind me here. I really like the look of it. It matches perfectly with the Switch's stand and all the Switch components. So it looks great on a shelf or on the TV stand next to the Switch, and I'm pretty big on displaying this stuff. And I find that, after a certain point, what looked cool one year, the next year, I just want out of the way to embrace whatever's new and exciting, and the Switch is still relatively new and very exciting. So with that in mind, picked it up. It boasts 3.5 hours charge time for just 2 Joy-Cons, or 7 hours, double for 4 Joy-Cons. It's got a light corresponding to each one, quite logically. Turns red when it's charging, off when they're finished charging. I love that. A lot of charge stands I've found use 2 different colored lights, so there's always a light on and it drives me nuts. I know when it's charged because the light is off. That's fine. I don't need a constant light. I do have one small gripe with it. The power cord is USB, which I have no issue with. Everything's USB these days. It's always close to something that's USB. You can plug it into the Switch's charge dock. My issue is sometimes you may want to just display this on a shelf and not use this as a charging stand. More as just a way of storing your controllers. That's an issue because you can't unplug this cord. Instead of just using a regular USB cable on both ends, it's permanently attached to the stand, so you got to kind of tuck it behind. And like I said, minor gripe, but certainly diminishes the aesthetic ever so slightly. It's a pretty basic thing. There really isn't too much to get into here, but it does exactly what it sets out to do. Charges 4 controllers, and I think looks pretty sweet while doing it. I can certainly see the benefit in having it both in the sort of aesthetic, just personal satisfaction category, as well as in terms of usage. This way it guarantees I always have my controllers charged and ready to go. It's super slick. They just slide right on there. Super easy. It's just a nice, clean little accessory. Does exactly what it sets out to do. Holds 4 Joy-Cons. Just, I think, the ideal way to charge your Joy-Cons and ensure they're always charged. Plus a nice little stylish way to display some of your Switch accessories. That's all I have to say on this guy. If you're at all interested, it's very low cost and absolutely worth picking up. I'm Ryan Cave, and this is Cognizant Gamer.